are you? I hope you all are doing well and studying well. So children, so far in science we have explored the living things, non-living things, we have explored plants, animals, our body, so many different things, isn't it? So children, now let's talk about the different other things that exist in science. So in order to know about something, okay, in order to know whether a thing is heavy or light, what do? We measure it, okay. We try to keep it in one hand and then compare it with the other hand, okay. By keeping a light thing in one hand and heavy thing in one hand, we try to measure it. That's why we are trying to take the measurements of thing, okay. So that's what we are going to talk about in this chapter, okay. So what is measurement? Measurement of length. So we are going to talk about in this chapter measurement of weight, measuring capacity and measuring temperature, okay. So measurement, what do you understand by the word measurement? Measurement means to analyze something, to measure something, okay. So measurement of length is measurement of distance or length is very important, okay. Long ago, people used to move from one place to another on foot and carry goods on the back of their animals, okay. It is important to know how far a place is so that we have an idea how we are going to reach that place. On foot, by taking a rickshaw, by bus or by train, a ship, an aeroplane, etc. Sometimes there are objects whose length or width we need to know. So measurement means the comparison of an unknown quantity with some known quantity, okay. So earlier people used to measure length with their hand and feet. However, the length of these body parts is different for different people, okay. The hand span, the cubit and the foot span, they are called non-standard units for measuring length. So children, earlier people used to travel long distances. They used to go from one place to another, but they didn't know how far they have reached and how much distance they have covered. So slowly and gradually they started discovering different methods by which they could find, okay, the distance that they have travelled by comparing it with, from where they've started till where they've reached, okay. Similarly, in order to find the quantity of something, okay, how heavy it is, how light it is, how much it is, how less it is, how full it is. So for all these things, okay, they started to find different measurements, okay. At the same time, okay, then the different measurements that they started using was by using the body parts. So they started using the hand span, okay, one hand distance, two hand distance, the cubit. They started using the foot span, so one foot distance, 2 foot distance. But what happens is everybody, okay, every person is different from another. So we have different sizes and shapes. So maybe for me, okay, depending on my height, okay, so my 1 foot span may be a distance this much and maybe your foot span may be this much. So it started differing. So it was not something which was authentic, all right. So now then they started using, so that is the reason why these units, they were considered as the non-standard units of measuring length. So now we need standard units for measuring length or distance, okay. The standard unit of length is meter, okay. Short lengths can be measured using centimeter. So the standard unit of distance becomes, or the length becomes, the meter, and then if it is shorter than that, becomes centimeter. So rulers, meter rods and measuring tapes, they are used for measuring length, okay. We use rulers, meter rods and measuring tapes to measure length. Now ruler or meter scale is used for measuring straight objects, example, measuring the side of a box. Measuring tape is used for measuring curved as well as straight objects. Example, chest of a person is measured by this tape by a tailor, whereas a cloth merchant uses a meter rod, okay. So a tailor uses a flexible measuring tape. So it's like just a a string like thing we can say, but it's a different type of a tape which helps the tailor to take it around the person to measure it. Okay. So, when we are talking about the measurement of a table or a box, we use a measuring tape which is a straight measuring tape, okay, or a ruler. Okay. Now, activity. Ask your two friends to measure the length of a table using their hand span. Okay. You also use your hand span to measure the same table. So, now you have to compare this thing by using your hand span, you and your friends, alright, and then number of hand span counted by your first friend, by your second friend, and counted by you. And now you have to do the comparison and see whether it is same or different. Alright, now let's talk about measuring weight. We've already spoken about length. Okay, for length we have used the measuring tape, we have used flexible measuring tape, we have used a ruler, we have used meter rods. Okay. So, now let's talk about measuring weight. We use a balance or a weighing machine to measure weight. Kilogram, or that is kg, and gram, which is g, okay, it is denoted by kg and g. They are common units for measuring weight. Okay. Heavy objects, they are measured in kilograms, and light objects in grams. Okay. So, different types of balances are used for weighing. So, in order to weigh something, we use different types of balances. Okay. Like an electronic balance, wherein you keep the item on the balance and automatically, electronically, it calculates the weight. The beam balance, wherein you put the weights on one side and then you put the object on the other side, and depending on where the object, okay, is, whether the object is going down or going up, you analyze the weight, and when it is in between, you know that this, it measures that much. Okay. So, suppose you keep a 5 kg here and you keep fruits here, and then you want to have 5 kg of fruits, then you start adding fruits according to the need and get it as 5 kg. If it is not according to the need, if it is more, okay, then the fruits will go up and the weighing, the weights will go down, and if it is less, okay, the weight will go up, the fruits will go down, and if it is equal, they will be balanced. Okay. So, that is a beam balance. Okay. Now, activity. Look for these objects and check the weight written on them. So, find out the weight of these items. Okay. A packet of cream biscuit, bottle of sauce, packet of pasta, and a packet of butter. Alright. So, now the third type is the measuring of capacity. Okay. To measure liquids, okay, measuring cups are used. Capacity is the quantity of a liquid a vessel can hold. A small mug can hold less water than a big mug. Okay. Liter and milliliter, okay, L and ml, okay, they are denoted as L and ml. Okay. They are commonly used units for measuring capacity. Small amounts of units are measured in milliliter, okay, and large amounts in liter. Okay. Activity. Write the units in which you will measure the following: a spoonful of medicine, a glass of milk, and a measuring cylinder with chemical. Okay. Now, how do we measure time? Time is measured in seconds, minutes, and hours. So, we can measure time with a watch or a clock. 60 seconds makes 1 minute, 60 minutes 1 hour, and 24 hours make a day. Okay. A clock has 3 hands: minute, hour hand, and second hand. Okay. So, when you look at a clock, you will come to know that there is one hand, okay, which is constantly moving, that is the seconds hand. Okay. One hand which is shorter, that the shortest hand is the hour hand, and the hand longer, okay, then that is the minute hand. The minute hand moves, okay, continuously, and then accordingly your hour and your time keeps changing. Okay. Now, let us talk about the measuring temperature. Okay. How do we measure a temperature? So, thermometer is a device used to measure temperature, which is, temperature means what? A degree of hotness or and coldness. How hot something is and how cold something is, the degree, okay, is measured through a thermometer. So, you must have seen your parents or doctors using a thermometer to measure fever. Okay. So, when we have fever, our body starts feeling very warm. Okay. It starts getting warmer and hot. Okay. So, how do you know how much fever do you have? It's measured through a thermometer. Now, temperature is measured on the centigrade scale or on the Fahrenheit scale. Okay. So, when we say for a person to be normal, okay, the temperature has to be around 98 degrees, means the person is normal, okay, and does not have fever. Let's revise. Earlier, handspan, footstep or cubit, okay, they were used to measure length. Length is measured in meter. Very long distances are measured in kilometer. Weight is measured in grams and kilograms. Capacity is measured in liters and milliliters. Okay. Second, minute and hour are units to measure time. A thermometer is used to measure temperature. Alright. So, now let us get you guys evaluated through these exercises. Okay. Multiple choice questions, you have to tick the correct option. Which of the following is the standard way of measurement? Okay. Handspan, cubit, meter scale or foot span? Standard way is the meter scale, right. Rulers, meter rods and measuring tape are used for measuring weight, temperature, length or volume. It is used to measure the length. Okay. The standard unit of length is meter, centimeter, kilogram or liter. It is meter. Heavy objects are weighed in kilogram, gram, liter or meter. It is B kilogram. Okay. Now, fill in the blanks. The standard unit of length is meter. The two body parts that were used by people long ago to measure length are foot and hand. Temperature is measured using a thermometer. Capacity of a bucket is measured in liter. Okay, because in bucket what do we store? We store liquids, okay, water, liquid. Dash minutes is equal to 1 hour, 60 minutes, okay. A dash is used to measure weight. What is used to measure weight? We use a beam balance, alright. Now, write T for true and F for false statements. The hand span is a standard unit for measuring length. It is false, okay, it's the meter. Measurement means the comparison of an unknown quantity with known quantity. Absolutely true. Okay. Time is measured by beam balance? No, false. Okay. Weight is measured by beam balance. Temperature is measured in seconds? No, temperature is measured in degrees and Fahrenheit. Lighter objects are weighed in kilograms. Okay. It is true. Alright. It is lighter objects in grams and little heavier in kilograms. Alright, now circle the odd one out. Palm, hand span, cubit or foot span. Okay, palm. Meter, centimeter, gram, kilometer, gram. Okay, centigrade, Fahrenheit and temperature. It is the temperature. Okay, now short answer questions. Name two instruments used to measure length. We use a measuring tape or a ruler. Okay. Which are the two scales used to measure temperature? Temperature is measured in degrees and Fahrenheit. Why can a pace or a footstep not be used as a standard unit of length? Because everybody's size is different. Okay. How are measuring cups used? Measuring cups are used to measure the quantity of water or liquids. Okay. Name instruments that are used for measuring weight. We use a beam balance or an electronic weighing machine. Okay. Long answer questions. Which different body parts were used by people, earlier people, to measure lengths? Okay. So, children, you have to talk about this in detail. Okay. What used to be used in the past and why was it not considered as a standard method. Okay. Then you have to define the measurements and the temperature. Alright. Okay. Now, name few instruments that are used to measure capacity. Okay. So, what are the instruments that we use to measure the capacity? Okay. Mention that in detail because this is long answer. Alright. Now, Critical thinking skills. The sun is very far away from us. What unit is used to measure the distance between the sun and the earth? It is the light years. Okay. How many times do you need to use a mug or 250 milliliter to fill up a bucket of 5 liter with water? Okay. 1 liter is 1000 milliliter. Okay. So, you have a mug which is weighing 250 milliliter. So, now you have to do the maths here and calculate how much, okay, how many times will you need to use the mug to make it 5 liters. Alright. Now, case-based study. The standard unit of length is a meter. Shorter lengths are measured in centimeter, that is cm. Long lengths are measured in kilometer, km. A ruler, measuring tape and meter rod are used to measure length. The standard unit of measuring mass is kilogram or kg. Heavy objects are measured in kilogram. Okay. So, heavy objects are measured in kilogram, light objects in gram. Okay, G. Capacity is the amount of a liquid which a vessel can hold. We use a measuring cylinder or a measuring beaker to measure capacity. The standard unit of measuring capacity is liter. The commonly used units for measuring capacities are milliliter and liter. Small amount of liquid is measured in milliliter, while large amount of liquid is measured in liters. Okay. Volume of liquid such as milk, oil, petrol, etc. is measured in liters and milliliters. Alright. So, the standard unit of length is meter, centimeter, kilogram or liter. It is meter, m. The standard unit of mass is meter, centimeter, kilogram or liter. It is kilogram. Okay. The standard unit of capacity is meter, centimeter, kilogram or liter. It is liter. Okay. What is capacity? Okay. So, capacity is the amount of liquid which a vessel can hold. Okay. So, now let us move on to life skills. Make your own physical balance. Okay. So, now you have to make a physical balance here. You can use 2 paper plates, make hole in the center of the plate and pass thread from them. Okay. Take a meter scale and hang paper plates on it as shown in the picture. Now, weight your notebook, a duster, hanky with 5 rupee coins. Alright. Now, let us do something new. You have to measure the length and breadth of your table in the school and the table at home and compare the values. You can use your ruler here or a big scale here. Okay. Use a chalk piece and measure the following. Pencil, how many chalks? Table, how many chalks? Pen, how many chalks? And a blackboard, how many chalks? Okay. Now, explore. You have heard about measuring rainfall. The meteorological department predicts and measures rain. Find out which instrument is used to measure rain and how this instrument is helpful to us. Alright. So, children, do find this information, but before you find this information, quickly reread the chapter, okay, complete all the exercises, okay, do all the projects and then get on to this exploring activity. Alright, children, get going.